everyone, welcome back once again to this Beefcast production. I'm your casting host Beef. It's been a while, but we're finally here casting some more StarCraft 2 action. Today's games are going to be coming from various replay packs. This first one is a replay pack put out here by our first player. He's hailing from evil geniuses all the way down south in the bayou. He's LzGaMeR, the Blue Zerg. So big thanks to LzGaMeR for putting out this replay pack. We'll probably be casting a couple of these today. Just see how things are going. But before that, we have down here in the 7 o'clock position and on Antiga Shipyard, we do have Complexity's primary Protoss. He is coL.Minigun. So, as I mentioned, we are here on Antiga Shipyard. This does appear to be a ladder game. We do have the ladder version of the map with the gold bases here in the center between our Zerg and our Protoss. So we'll see how things go ahead and play out right now. I've been playing a lot of Zerg on the ladder during my break from the casting, getting back up into the high Diamond Masters range. So this is a matchup that I'm fairly comfortable with. LZ's going to be using his overlords over here to try to scout, figure out where the base is. It's one of the most important things with Zerg, is trying to get early scouting information on the Protoss, trying to get reads on what exactly they could be doing, if they are going to be going for that traditional Forge Fast Expand, or maybe even something like a Gateway Cybercore Fast Expand on the low ground into that early Nexus, something that's a little bit more aggressive potential. But the first thing that you need to do as a Zerg, just make sure you know where your opponent is so you can get your overlords in position. Check those gas timings, because gas timings are everything. As we see, though, there is actually... Oops, that is the wrong button. Oh, man, it has been so long. Let's see if I can get that scoreboard up for you. Oh, boy. Where is it? Where is it? The name panel. Control Q. Oh, man, it's been a while. We do see that Forge coming down, though. And so that is going to be indicative, of course, of the Forge Fast Expand. Drone is going to be able to slip in there and see that there is a Forge before Nexus. We do have minerals that are going to be pulling up for our Protoss player up there. He's going to want to get that Nexus down, bringing in a couple of probes to be able to facilitate that. Meanwhile, for LzGaMeR, he did manage to plop down a hatch first. That is going to be a 15 hatch, followed by a 16 pool. So nothing too special there. This does leave you quite vulnerable to a cannon rush if the Protoss player does want to do so, because he did go, there it is, there goes the first pylon down. So we're going to see how LZ is going to react to this. If he is able to get some drones on there, it's going to take about 3 drones the full length of time, or 4 drones the partial length of the time to kill one of these pylons or cannons before it gets all the way up. But we do want to make sure that there aren't going to be too many cannons coming up right there, and that's actually beautiful positioning there by Minigun. Only able to be able to get 1 drone in there, and absolutely perfect. He's now completely walled in there. So this is actually looking pretty not so good for our Zerg player. The good thing is that this is 3 pylons, so I'd expect at least one of these pylons to be canceled. Although he might not want to give up his full wall. There's only going to be 1 photon cannon coming in right here, but it is going to have to be killed before any of these other pylons. The pylons, you're going to have to kill 3 before the photon cannons are powered. But I don't know how LZ is going to react to this. We'll see. Oh my gosh, and he actually is going ahead by placing down a proxy hatch. This has actually been in there for quite a while. This is what that scouting drone was doing. And so Minigun finally spotting that when he goes to place down a pylon is going to pull a ton of probes to try to deal with that. Back home, he is going to be doing something that Katz is very good at, and that is going to be dropping the proxy hatch and following up with some immediate roaches. He's got that gas working, and so he's going to produce... he's not actually going to produce anything, because Minigun's going to spot this just in time to be able to get the kill off. This is, however, denying a ton of tiny mining time for Minigun. Minigun's only mining with 4 probes, 5 probes right now. So that did a little bit of good, but back here this hatchery is going to be falling for now. The roaches might actually be able to get the cannon before too much damage happens to this hatchery, and we'll have to see if that is actually the case. Right now we do have 4 more roaches in production here. So yeah, the cannon's actually going to be able to go down in addition to those 4 pylons. So this is actually about a 500 mineral investment over here that didn't actually manage to kill the hatchery. Delayed the mining at the hatchery and forced some roaches, but that is all. However, the 300 minerals that were spent on this hatchery in the base counteract that pretty well. Take a look down here at the wall right now. There is 1 open spot right here for another probe to get out onto the map. Gonna fill that up with the Zealot when the time comes, and there is actually a second photon cannon coming down right now for Minigun. This is going to be just because he's feeling a little bit unsafe, doesn't have any scouting information on the Zerg right now, knows that he already has roaches, and so it'd be pretty easy for LZ to just get that speed right there and then start producing a few more drones and then just like 8-12 roaches and some speedlings and try to bust that down. So it's a nice job by Minigun there, trying to get up a little bit extra defense, just make sure that he's protected against something like that. But I'm a little worried that he hasn't closed his gap yet. There's no Zealot right there. And if LZ had some speed already, which he could have had if he had double gas, there could already be speedlings flooding the base. There's no sentries out right now, so that could have been a problem, but nothing happened. Great job of LzGaMeR, going to be getting one of these pylons over here, trying to make sure that there's not any pylons on the map that could be warping in units. I wish that he actually was using his overlords a little bit more spread. I understand that at the beginning of this game there was a little bit of pressure being put on him, but having 4 overlords in your base right now, you really want overlords around their base so you can check their gas timings. You can see that he still doesn't have any Vespene geysers, and so the timings of this game are a little bit wonky just because of all the early cannon pressure and the early proxy patch. But now that there are 4 gases going down, LZ's going to see that and he's going to say, okay, so this isn't going to be anything like just pure gateway pressure. There's not going to be a sentry zealot timing that's coming out of this. It's not going to be like a 7 gate, 8 gate, anything like that. But as soon as that overlord is out of position, right there, he actually does spot it going down. So that position right there is oftentimes used for a robo facility. So I don't know if LZ actually clicked on it, but I would venture that he would think it is a robo facility. Typically with 4 gas, you're going to be thinking either a strong robo timing, like a double robo, or they're going to be teching up pretty hard into something like ETs, that's something very gas intensive, or they're going to be going like Sentry Robo, Sentry Immortal, and then be trying to take a third behind it. So we'll see how that actually happens. And right now we do see that LzGaMeR has actually dropped a hatchery down here at the gold. The probe is going to get up there to the third and say, oh shit, why isn't there a third? So right now Minigun's going to be thinking, well, there's either a huge timing coming my way off of 2 base, which is pretty unusual, unless it's going to be a bust. But the time for the bust is pretty much now, or it's not coming. So he is immediately going to go over here and want to be able to check for something at the gold base. Hasn't gotten that over there yet because this flock of Zerglings did go ahead and clean that up. We do see a total of 7 gates now, 7 gate robo, and +1, actually, yeah, +1, yeah, coming up right now for Minigun. So he's going to be able to hit a pretty strong timing right now, warping in a lot of sentries early, trying to get the energy up so that he has as many force fields and guardian shields as possible for when he hits his timing here. But looks like he's taking 1 more gas than might normally be with this build. He's also got 1 more gateway. Overseer going to be flying in from LzGaMeR over here, going to be able to get a full scout on the base. Let's take a look there and see. So he does see the robo, and he does see pylons. He already saw the total of 6 gates up here. So LZ's got a pretty good idea of what's going on. I'd expect to see his drone count not be going up anymore. And yeah, so he's just completely producing roaches and zerglings right now. His drone count is a little bit low. Yeah, he's at 60 drones. Normally you stop around 56 for a typical timing, typical defense against a timing. So it's kind of weird though. He's actually able to get about the same amount of mining, even though he's at less drones, just because he's on this gold. So very interesting tactic here by LZ. We'll see how it plays out for him. LZ at home has started some upgrades. He does have +1 for his melee and is finishing up +1 armor right now. Zerglings and roaches are actually going to walk right by the Protoss army here. They're going to be looking for a counterattack, but LZ actually turns around and wants to be able to get in on this right now. Zerglings and roaches are trying to put some pressure on that Immortal. Warp Prism coming out, trying to get some backup here, but from the backside we do have the Zerglings and the roaches coming in, and it looks like LZ is actually getting a decent engage. The force fields from Minigun are actually doing an incredible job of making sure that these large group of roaches right here are not able to do anything. Great job harassing down these Immortals, able to kill all of the Immortals. Picks one up and picks the other one up into the Warp Prism. Those two are going to be able to escape, live another day. Actually going to be going into the main base right now to do some harass, but it was a nice job of getting a good surround, a good flank from LzGaMeR there with that relatively small army of Minigun. And so right now there is a large contingent of roaches trying to make their way up right now. Sentries being warped in for defense, and the roaches are going to be able to put some pressure onto these photon cannons, taking out one and now two photon cannons, with a large portion of the defense for the army. The warp prism did not actually end up making it into the main. There was zerglings and roaches to be defending right there. So great job. LzGaMeR going to be putting a little bit more pressure onto the wall here. Possibly going to be able to snipe that forge. That would be a pretty good job. But right now we do see that our Zerg player is in a pretty favorable position. The third being dropped right now by the Protoss player. Warp Prism is going to be able to come in and snipe the third. That was actually beautiful. I'm sorry to not catch that on camera, but we saw that Warp Prism just hanging out over here, and he was actually able to get over there and snipe the third. Immortals with +1 do so much damage. Coming in right now to be two-shotting all these drones. Right up back into that Warp Prism, taking nothing but shield damage, no problem whatsoever. So the third does go down at the natural third this time. I wouldn't be surprised to see LZ drop another base here at the gold. In the meantime, we do have a large force of roaches that are going to be coming over here. Snipe the third. Third does get canceled, but beautiful force whips by our Protoss player. Going to go to the segment. A lot of those roaches making a lot of them here in the back. Pretty useful. Going to be able to pick off every single one of these roaches unless LZ has burrow, which he does not. So every single one of these roaches is going to die. We'll see what kind of damage we can get onto some of these units. Maybe pick up a couple sentries or even an immortal. That's one sentry down, and a couple of stalkers down, two sentries down. Zerglings didn't come in here. I don't agree with that choice. Sending in those Zerglings right there. We've got one additional stalker, but we could use that to have a large defense force back home. But overall, not too bad. He's able to prevent the third from going up for the Protoss, and that's a big deal. Warp Prism collapse here in the main, however. Zealots and Immortals going to be taking down the layer. There's absolutely no way that is going to get stopped. The Zerglings are, however, going to be able to pick off the Immortals. Zerglings are incredibly effective at dealing with the Immortals. However, not so effective at dealing with these Zealots. +1 Zealots can be two-shotting these Zerglings. Well, not quite two-shotting them, just because those Zerglings do have +1 armor. But right now, with only one active mining base, second active mining base going up right now, the fourth is being dropped once again at the gold position. But we'll see how LZ manages to get himself back in this. Twilight Council is going to be going down for our Protoss player, and +2 ground carapace is going to be stopped by these Zealots. The pressure just continues from our Protoss player. Mutalisks are now out. The Spire has already been sniped, but we do have 9 Mutalisks able to clean up that force of Zealots. Mutalisks and Zerglings are going to be swarming across the map. See if the Mutalisks take out that Warp Prism right there. So ending that last streak from our Protoss player. So Blink is actually going to be the tech of choice. Blink off of still, 8 gates? Yep, 8 gates. 8 gate Blink with +2, I would expect. +2 coming up anywhere? Nope. So 8 gate with +1 Blink Stalkers is going to be the method of defense for these Mutalisks. And that's relatively effective as long as you can keep your Stalker count up and make sure that his Muta count doesn't get too high. With no additional Spire and no Lair right now, then the Mutas aren't going to be getting too much higher. The Muta's got a whole lot heftier numbers, then you would need to switch to something like High Templar to get Archons and to get Storm. Anything without some kind of splash simply is not going to be effective once you're getting up into the 20, 30 Muta count range. Mutas just come in and they just obliterate things. But right now, Minigun is looking pretty nice with 26 Stalkers and an Immortal and a couple of sentries there. Sitting on a total of 3 bases. His main is going to be pretty mined out right now. LZ is going to be trying to sneak in with these 10 Mutalisks, see if he can get a little bit of harass done, but Minigun doing a very nice job of keeping a Stalker contingent at both of his bases. Antiga not necessarily the best map here for Muta play, just because you aren't able to get to that natural. Naturals are your primary place that you want to be harassing in the early to mid game with the Mutalisks, and the natural is essentially defended from all angles because you have to fly in over the main or the third in order to get it in. We do have +2 weapons coming up now finally for LzGaMeR, +1 ground missile attacks, and +2 carapace being restarted here for our Zerg player. Infestation Pit does follow up. And the pathogen glands upgrade has started, so LZ's going to make that transition to the bread and butter of the Zerg army right now, the Infestor, something that's just an incredibly cost-effective unit with its fungals, with its potential for harass with infested Terran. And we'll see how LZ does go ahead and utilize that. Right now, LZ is up about 35 supply on the Protoss. The Protoss player with these Blinkstalkers. Blinkstalkers are incredibly effective at dealing with roaches as long as they don't have Infestor or Zergling follow up. Right now, there are 106 Zerglings on the map and minimal sentries. There's about 6 sentries. And yeah, it looks like they're going to be going in right now. The Zerglings are trying to get a nice round, but the force fields are absolutely amazing right now. And if I was in LZ's position, I would back off. Yeah, you need to back off with those Zerglings. Try to snipe some reinforcements. Let those force fields be wasted. You cannot engage into that many force fields with Zerglings. You're just going to lose absolutely everything. The Mutalisks are sitting over here toward the third, but they are not able to get anywhere near there. There are 6 cannons defending that base right now, and so LzGaMeR is once again down to 2 mining bases. His main is almost completely mined out, and his 4th was just sniped. And it actually looks like the drones over here, I don't really know what those drones were doing. They must have, I don't believe that there was a 4th up there. Yeah, there was no 4th up there, so they must have been drones that were evacuated from the 3rd. Nice job getting all those drones out, but right now they're going to be going back to the main to try to finish up mining on those few mineral patches. But the Protoss is looking more and more kind of like a death ball type army right now. Let's look at his army supply. He's at 2 Immortals, 35 Blinkstalkers with +2, and 11 sentries. The number of sentries right there is the staggering part, with a composition that's primarily based in Zerglings and a few roaches. Right now, the sentries are going to be so effective at making sure that those Zerglings' efficacy is extremely minimized. However, LZ does have a total of 9 Infestors right now, each one of them with at least enough energy for 1 fungal and 1 infested Terran. And if this goes about 40 more seconds before an engagement, he might even be able to have 2 fungals on each one of those Infestors. Right now, we do see the force fields going up. There's a couple force fields just there. Try to catch a couple of roaches and Zerglings. More defensive force fields than anything, but he manages to make them offensive. Snipe a few units for a little bit of energy right there. Zerglings going to be coming in. They actually hit Minigun off guard. The force fields are not good enough, and fungals going down on absolutely everything. The Infestors doing a nice job staying there in the back. Zerglings are going to be swarming in from the side, take out 1 Infested. The Mutas have been joined in the party right now, and the roaches are going to be coming in. Like I said, dealing very well with Blinkstalkers deal very well with roaches, but the roaches with the Infestor backup and the Zerglings are actually going to be able to absolutely cut through the Blinkstalker army right now. And it looks like LZ might have just taken a gigantic lead in this game, doubling the army supply of his opponent. His 4th base has just completed once again at the gold base, and we'll see how he chooses to follow this up. Right now, he is just producing some more Zerglings. He's floating an actual ton of minerals and gas. Blinkstalker's doing a good job of working back up into the base right now. But Zergling's going to be coming in here, trying to put some pressure on these cannons. Not the best use of the Zerglings right now. Infested Terran going down. Going to be able to provide some additional support to help deal with these Blinkstalkers. The last of the Mutalisks are being cleaned up. The Infested Terran's going to be able to take out the rest of those cannons. +3 on the forge there is about to be completed. About 30 seconds off. But it looks like Minigun does actually GG. So very nice job of coming back there. Very good back and forth game. Excellent job by LzGaMeR getting a very nice engagement right over here. That was really the decisive engagement of the game. And without Minigun being able to use the force fields from his 12 sentries or whatnot that he had there, yeah, the Zerglings were able to just come in and do way too much damage. So excellent job. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed. We'll be coming back at you here and getting another replay going. So thank you for watching. Be sure to check me out on YouTube, youtube.com/beefpotpie1, and we'll see you next time.